Chapter 342. Benefits. Yin Tianjue, what benefits did the Decimo Sword Sect give you? Aren't you afraid that the Decimo Sword Sect will unify the Blazing Sun Empire and become stronger and target the Yin Moon Empire? Lin Shuai looked at Yin Tianjue. Haha, it's fine to tell you. The Ghost Moon Saber Sect's territory belongs to the Yin Moon Empire. Yin Tianjue laughed. What? The Decimo Sword Sect is betraying the Empire. Lin Shuai roared. The Decimo Sword Sect had given the Ghost Moon Saber Sect's territory to the Yin Moon Empire. That was 1/5 of the Blazing Sun Empire's territory. The Ten Directions Sword Sect was simply unscrupulous. Lin Shuai, this is a win-win situation. Alright, your Mystic Essence Sword Sect is doomed. Kill. Yin Tianjue ordered. Shua. Dozens of figures flew out from the centipede's back and charged toward the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. In an instant, dozens of Mystic Essence Sword Sect disciples were killed. These dozens of people were all peak experts. Even the weakest was at the 6th level of the Martial Ancestor Realm. There were even 3 at the 9th level of the Martial Ancestor Realm. The moment they attacked, the situation changed. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect was at a disadvantage. Yin Tianjue didn't attack. His target was Lin Shuai. Duanmu Tsunghai, how about you and I team up and kill Lin Shuai? Yin Tianjue sneered. That's what I want. Duanmu Tsunghai's turbid eyes revealed a dark and cold expression. Boom. Their auras exploded and swept across the sky. The clouds in the sky were turned to dust by their auras. Kang. The high-grade 4 battle sword in Lin Shuai's hand buzzed as a sword chi shot into the sky. He looked at Duanmu Tsunghai and Yin Tianjue with a serious expression. Facing 2 half-step kings, he didn't have any confidence. He knew that he had to go all out today. Otherwise, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect wouldn't survive. Kill. Duanmu Tsunghai and Yin Tianjue roared as they each attacked. Duanmu Tsunghai used a sword, while Yin Tianjue used a battle spear. The 2 attacks advanced side by side towards Lin Shuai. Mysterious heaven sword art. Lin Shuai let out a long cry. Her entire body seemed to have turned into a divine sword. Soaring sword will filled the air. A dazzling sword light seemed to have come from the heavens and slashed out violently. Boom. 2 heaven-shaking, earth-shattering explosions resounded throughout the area. Looking up from below, one could see that the entire sky was filled with streaks of sword chi and battle spear light. The space was trembling, and it was extremely terrifying. Whoosh. The next moment, a figure retreated crazily. Due to the speed, it swept up a blast of air that was thousands of meters long. It was Lin Shuai. He retreated a few thousand meters, groaned, and spat out a mouthful of blood. Lin Shuai, you are not a match for the 2 of us. Today, you will die. Yin Tianjue sneered. Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Lin Shuai's eyes flashed with madness. You want to drag us down with you? Haha, Lin Shuai, you think too highly of yourself. Die. Yin Tianjue laughed out loud. His aura was like a mountain as he charged towards Lin Shuai again. At the same time, Duanmu Tsunghai also attacked Lin Shuai. Boom. Another 2 earth-shattering explosions. Lin Shuai retreated again. He coughed out blood, and his face was pale. Facing 2 experts of the same level, he was no match for them. He was completely suppressed. They were both at the Half-King realm and had cultivated force to the limit. They were both at the peak of the Burning Sun Empire and the Dark Moon Empire. Who was weaker than the other? Lin Shuai was no match for the 2 of them. Haha, Lin Shuai, die. Yin Tianjue roared. His battle spear pierced through the air and turned into a huge spear that was a few hundred meters long. He charged towards Lin Shuai. Lin Shuai, let me send you on your way. Duanmu Tsunghai sneered. His sword light shocked the sky. Endless energy burst out from his old body. A sword light slashed towards Lin Shuai. At this moment heaven and earth shook violently. A blade light slashed over from afar. This saber beam was several hundred meters long and black in color. The most shocking thing was that when this saber beam slashed through the void, It was accompanied by a series of shrill screams that sounded like the screams of countless evil spirits. The target of this blade light was Yin Tianjue. Ghost King Purgatory / Yin Tianjue exclaimed. His expression changed as he roared. He forcefully changed the direction of the spear in his hand and blasted it towards the blade light. Yin Tianjue's body trembled slightly as he took a few steps back. Every step he took would cause an explosion in the air. Whoosh! The blade light dissipated. An old man in a black robe embroidered with a black moon appeared in the air. "Old Shangguan, it's really you," Yin Tianjue said with a gloomy expression. Ghost Moon Saber Sect's old ancestor, Shangguan Ming, Lin Shuai was delighted. He thought that Shangguan Ming had died in the battle after the Ghost Moon Saber Sect was destroyed. Now, it seemed that Shangguan Ming was still alive. "Old Shangguan, I didn't kill you last time. This time, you're here to die. This is the will of the heavens." Yin Tianjue sneered. "Yin Tianjue and the Decimo Sword Sect. I won't let you succeed even if I have to risk my life." Shangguan Ming's face was filled with hatred. He wanted to take revenge for the Ghost Moon Saber Sect's destruction. "Shangguan Ming, you old bones. You'd better die soon." At this moment, a cold voice came from afar. Then, a slender figure with his hands behind his back walked in the air. In an instant, he appeared in front of them. Qiu Wuyang. Lin Shuai and Shangguan Ming's expressions changed drastically. The Decimo Sword Sect's sect master, Qiu Wuyang, was nearby. "Shangguan Ming, I know you're not satisfied and want to take revenge. That's why I didn't make a move just now. I wanted to lure you out and get rid of you together," Qiu Wuyang said indifferently. His figure flashed as he, Duanmu Tsunghai, and Yin Tianjue formed a triangle, surrounding Lin Shuai and Shangguan Ming. Lin Shuai and Shangguan Ming leaned against each other, their expressions ugly. Qiu Wuyang had planned out everything in his plan. Every step was interconnected, leaving no chance for the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to survive. Ah! At this moment, a long howl came from below, piercing through the sky. Lin Shuai and the others couldn't help but look in that direction. There, Feng Wuji and Duanmu Lin were fighting. However, Feng Wuji was no match for Duanmu Lin. He was covered in blood and one of his arms had been broken by Duanmu Lin. "Haha, Feng Wuji, you're not the strongest person in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. What 6 heroes of the Burning Sun? You're just a piece of trash. If I was born a few years earlier, you wouldn't have stood out." Duanmu Lin laughed as his aura surged. His cultivation had reached the 4th level martial ancestor realm. Boom! Duanmu Lin slashed out with his saber and Feng Wuji barely blocked it. He was sent flying 1,000 meters away and blood spurted from his mouth. "Wuji." Lin Shuai was extremely worried in the sky. "Hehe, Lin Shuai, you've been utterly defeated. Even in the younger generation, the geniuses of the Duanmu family are enough to crush you. It's time for the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to change hands." Chapter 343. Lin Shuai's face darkened. "Lin Shuai, I heard that Feng Wuji is the disciple you're most proud of. I'll let you watch him die in front of you," Qiu Wuyang sneered. At this moment, they were not in a hurry to attack. They wanted Lin Shuai to watch Feng Wuji die. This way, Lin Shuai would have a mental breakdown and it would be easier to kill her. "Feng Wuji, today will be your doomsday." Duanmu Lin's long hair danced in the wind as he exuded an aura of supremacy. His eyes shone brightly, showing his arrogance. Boom! He slashed out with his saber again. Feng Wuji tried his best to block the attack, but he was severely injured and was no match for Duanmu Lin. His body was sent flying like a cannonball. A long wound appeared on his chest as blood flowed out. "Wuji! Senior brother Wuji!" Countless people in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect shouted when they saw this scene. They wanted to rush over to help, but they were all entangled by their opponents and could not help. "Ha ha ha." Qiu Wuyang, Duanmu Tsunghai, and Yin Tianjue laughed in the sky. A few figures looked up from below where Feng Wuji and Duanmu Lin were fighting. One of them was graceful. It was Lu Yao. The others were the experts of the Duanmu clan who were responsible for protecting her. Lu Yarrow was here to witness the rise of Duanmu Lin. At this moment, Lu Yarrow had a complicated look in her eyes. She was also surprised that the Duanmu clan had betrayed the Mystic Essence Sword sect. However, she felt relieved after thinking about it. That's even better. With the Duanmu clan replacing the Mystic Essence Sword sect, my status will be even higher in the future. Now that I've reached the 6th layer Martial Master realm, I'll be able to break through to the Martial Ancestor realm soon. At that time, I'll definitely awaken my king-class bloodline. That way, I'll be able to live together with Brother Lin. Lu Ming, do you see this? Brother Lin has already stepped on Feng Wuji, one of the 6 heroes of the Burning Sun. Even if you have some talent, how can you compare to Brother Lin? How can you be worthy of me? It's a pity that you're not in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and can't see this scene. If you can see this scene, how inferior would you feel? Lu Yarrow looked at Duanmu Lin, who was in high spirits. His eyes were bright, filled with pride and anticipation. Feng Wuji, you are the first opponent I've ever fought against. Today, I shall step on your corpse and rise to the top. From now on, I shall soar into the skies and shake the world with my name. It's your honor to be able to become my stepping stone. In the air, Duanmu Lin looked at Feng Wuji with disdain, but he was still in high spirits. Duanmu Lin, you won't have the chance. Right at this moment, a clear voice sounded out from afar. Who? Duanmu Lin's gaze turned cold as he stared into the distance. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the distance, 3 streaks of rainbow light shot over. Who are you? You are courting death. An expert from the 10 Directions Sword sect shouted and charged towards the 3 rainbow lights. Kai Kai. A few claw radiances flew out and tore a few 6th Martial Ancestor realm experts from the Shifang Sword sect into pieces. Whoosh, whoosh. When the rainbow lights dissipated, 3 figures appeared in the air. It's you. The Marquis of Champion Tianyun, someone shouted the moment the 3 figures appeared. Everyone in the Mystic Essence Sword sect who was in the midst of a fierce battle was shocked. They could not help but look over. The Marquis of Champion Tianyun was famous in the Blazing Sun Empire. But why did he suddenly appear here? The 3 figures who had suddenly appeared were Lu Ming, Yang Quan, and the Golden Eye Blood Zombie. The Immortal Gazing Pass was not far from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming led 30,000 red blood-armored cavalry and finally arrived at the Mystic Essence Sword sect after more than a day's journey. At this moment, Lu Ming, Yang Quan, and the Golden Eye Blood Zombie were the first to arrive at the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming could not help but speak when he saw Duanmu Lin's arrogant look. Duanmu Lin's face turned serious as he looked at Lu Ming. Duanmu Lin naturally knew of the Marquis of Champion Lu Ming's name. Moreover, Lu Ming had killed the Shifang Sword sect's genius, Qiu Changlai. Duanmu Lin did not dare to underestimate Lu Ming. This guy actually came here. What about his red blood-armored cavalry? Qiu Wuyang's face changed slightly. During this period of time, Qiu Wuyang knew that Lu Ming had led the red blood-armored cavalry to the north of the Blazing Sun Empire to rescue Hua Kai. However, he had been busy dealing with the Mystic Essence Sword sect, so he did not send anyone to deal with Lu Ming. In his opinion, Lu Ming was just fooling around. After he dealt with the Mystic Essence Sword sect and the Red Cloud Valley, he could easily kill Lu Ming and his red blood-armored cavalry. It's him. Lin Shui's eyes flickered, revealing a complicated expression. Tianyun, what are you doing here? Qiu Wuyang's voice came from the sky. Of course I'm here to kill you all. Lu Ming smiled faintly. As soon as these words came out, the hearts of everyone present trembled. Come to kill Qiu Wuyang and the others? What an arrogant tone. Ha ha ha, Marquis Champion Tianyun, you are indeed heroic. However, in my opinion, you have lost your mind because of your heroic spirit. Well, it is normal for you to lose yourself in your achievements at such a young age. You still want to kill us? What a joke. How about this? I see that you are a talent. If you join me now, I can consider putting you in an important position. In the future, you can become the Marshal of the Army and guard the Blazing Sun Empire, Qiu Wuyang said. What bullshit Marshal of the Army? Do you think I care about that? Qiu Wuyang, to be honest, I am more interested in your head. Lu Ming sneered. Presumptuous, you are courting death. Qiu Wuyang's face turned cold as murderous intent burst out from his eyes. He waved his hand and a shocking sword radiance slashed down at Lu Ming. Not good, Qiu Wuyang, you are shameless. Lin Shui's face changed and was about to help. Lin Shui, your opponent is me. Duanmu Canghai moved and blocked Lin Shui. On the other side, Yin Tianjue also stared at Shangguan Ming, preventing him from helping. What Marquis champion? You dare to oppose me? You overestimate yourself. Die. Qiu Wuyang's eyes were cold. However, facing Qiu Wuyang's sword radiance, Lu Ming's face was very calm as he stood there without moving. It's over. Marquis champion Tianyun, the hero of his generation, is he going to be killed like this? Many people sighed. No one thought that Lu Ming could survive. Qiu Wuyang was a half-step king, and only a half-step king could block the attack of a half-step king. However, how many half-step kings were there in the vast blazing Sun Empire? At the very most, there were only a dozen or so. Now, who could save Lu Ming? Then, a scene that left everyone flabbergasted appeared. Beside Lu Ming, Yang Quan stepped out and punched out. Boom. Chapter 344. Bang. With a loud explosion, the fist energy and the sword light clashed, cancelling each other out. Half-step king. That's a half-step king. Someone roared. Many people were shocked. They didn't expect that there would be a half-step king beside Lu Ming. Who are you? Qiu Wuyang's expression turned grave. Every half-step king was famous, and they were the overlords of a region. He knew every one of them, but he didn't recognize Yang Quan. Who am I? Well, it doesn't matter if I say it. I am Yang Quan. Yang Quan grinned and said. What? You are Yang Quan? Then this little bastard is the one who destroyed the Mo family and killed my son. As soon as Yang Quan's words fell, Yin Tianjue roared and looked at Lu Ming with a sinister expression. During this time, he had sent people to investigate, but they couldn't find the culprit. He only knew that Yang Quan had escaped. Now that Yang Quan had appeared in this place, the answer was obvious. Yin Tianjue, what are you shouting for? Your Yin Moon royal family is despicable and shameless. Today, I will settle this with you. Yang Quan looked at Yin Tianjue with killing intent. He took a step forward and confronted Qiu Wuyang and the others. The auras of 6 half-step kings intersected, forming a huge domain. Those below half-step king couldn't even get close. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at Duanmu Lin and said with a faint smile, Duanmu Lin, I just said that you won't have the chance to rise. Today, you will die. Tianyun, if you and I fight, both of us will suffer. I advise you to join the 10 Direction Sword faction. Now that the 10 Direction Sword faction is established, even if you have a half-step king protecting you, you won't be able to affect the overall situation. Duanmu Lin looked at Lu Ming and said. With Tianyun's reputation, he didn't want to fight with him unless it was absolutely necessary. Both of us suffer. With just you. You really think highly of yourself. Lu Ming revealed a mocking smile. One move is enough to defeat you. Lu Ming took a step forward and approached Duanmu Lin. Arrogant. Let's see how you can defeat me in one move. Great Sun Thunder Saber Slash. Duanmu Lin roared and slashed out with his saber. The terrifying saber light was even more scorching than the sun, explosively slashing towards Lu Ming. Beast Dao Palm. Lu Ming whispered and struck out with his palm. A huge beast claw appeared and charged towards Duanmu Lin. Bang! The beast claw collided with the saber light. The saber light was extinguished like a wisp of smoke. The beast Dao Palm's momentum did not stop. It carried astonishing power as it blasted towards Duanmu Lin. How could this be? Duanmu Lin yelled out in disbelief. He then unleashed his bloodline in a frenzy. Channeling all his strength, he slashed out with his saber. Block it for me. Duanmu Lin let out a deep roar. The sharp saber light condensed into a sun. However, this sun was like a bubble that was extinguished by the beast Dao Palm. Bang! Subsequently, the beast Dao Palm landed on Duanmu Lin's body. Duanmu Lin let out a blood-curdling scream as he was sent flying over 1,000 meters away. He coughed up blood non-stop, and his entire body trembled. His clothes were tattered, and who knew how many of his bones were broken? Lin. High up in the sky, Duanmu Songhai yelled worriedly. So powerful. Even overlords like Yin Tianjue and Shangguan Ming were startled. Lin Shueri's gaze was even more complicated. So powerful. Tianyun is too powerful. In all directions, Yang Lan, Mu Lan, and the others were incomparably shocked. The battle continued, but everyone's attention was attracted to the battle. As martial ancestors, they were able to see the battle from a few dozen miles away. I've said that I'll defeat you in one move. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Impossible, impossible. Duanmu Lin couldn't take it anymore and yelled. He was a peerless genius, but he was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. It was a huge blow to him. Below, Lu Yarrow was also in disbelief. In her eyes, Duanmu Lin was invincible, but he was defeated by Tianyun in one move. There's actually such a genius in this world. Even Duanmu Lin was defeated in one move. The Marquis champion is indeed worthy of his reputation, Lu Yarrow thought to herself. She looked at Lu Ming and her eyes shone brightly. The second move is to kill you. Lu Ming chuckled and took another step forward. At the same time, his body emitted a cold killing intent. Tianyun, how dare you? Duanmu Songhai yelled and wanted to save him. Duanmu Songhai, I'm your opponent. Lin Shueri's aura locked onto Duanmu Songhai. Tianyun, we have no feud in the past. Why do you have to kill me? If you kill me, the Duanmu family won't let you off. Why do you have to seek trouble for yourself? Duanmu Lin yelled in horror. Ha ha ha, no feud? No feud. Duanmu Lin, you have a bad memory. I've said that I'll return to the Mystic Essence Sword sect and kill you within 2 years. Why? Have you forgotten it so quickly? At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly laughed and his voice changed back to his original voice. What? You're... Duanmu Lin's eyes shrunk and he was shocked. Lu Ming wiped his face and took off his disguise, revealing a handsome face. At the same time, his bones shifted and he returned to his original appearance. Lu Ming, how could it be you? Duanmu Lin screamed hysterically when he saw Lu Ming's real face. This was too hard for him to accept. The champion Marquis Tianyun was actually Lu Ming, the Lu Ming that he looked down on. He would rather lose to Tianyun than Lu Ming. This was a blow to his heart that was 10 times, no, 100 times worse. Lu Ming is back. In the distant sky, Yang Lan, Mu Lan, and the others were greatly shocked when they saw this scene. Then, they were ecstatic beyond belief. Ha ha ha, this kid is actually Tianyun? This is too shocking. Yang Lan laughed. How could this be? Duanmu Pejuan, who was fighting against Yang Lan, shouted in disbelief. Lu Ming, you're finally back. I knew you would come back and fulfill your promise. Mulin's eyes were filled with joy. Lu Ming is back. Lu Ming is the champion Marquis, his Tianyun. Both the disciples and elders of the Mystic Essence Sword sect couldn't help but shout. This news quickly spread throughout the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect and the entire battlefield. No one would have thought that the world-renowned champion Hu Tianyun was actually the same Lu Ming who barged into the White Tiger courtyard and killed Lu Yunxiong and dozens of people from the Duanmu family more than a year ago. In the end, he was forced by the Duanmu family to withdraw from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Many people still remembered the determination that Lu Ming had when he left the Mystic Essence Sword sect and the promise that Lu Ming had made. He would definitely return and kill Duanmu Lin within 2 years. Now, it hadn't even been 2 years. In just a little more than a year, Lu Ming had returned. He had returned in a shocking manner. Duanmu Lin had been defeated by him in one move. The return of a king, a true king, no matter where he went, no matter what identity he used, was destined to not be buried and would shine brightly. Lu Ming is back. As expected, I'm not as good as him. In the Azure Dragon Institute, Zhong Muyun sighed. Haha, I knew he would return. Chapter 345. It's really him. In the sky, Lin Shueri revealed a bitter smile. At this moment, Lin Shueri regretted it. Back then, He had chosen the Duanmu family and given up on Lu Ming. However, the facts had proven that he was wrong. The Duanmu family rebelled, and at the crucial moment, Lu Ming came back to rescue them. His feelings were extremely complicated. Damn it. Damn it. I should have killed him back then. Duanmu Songhai's face was extremely gloomy. Among everyone, Lu Yarrow had the most complicated feelings and found it hard to accept. At this moment, Lu Yarrow's body was trembling violently. She looked at the familiar figure in the sky in disbelief. No, no, it's impossible. It can't be Lu Ming. How can Tianyun be Lu Ming? Lu Yarrow screamed incoherently. Not long ago, she was still thinking that it was a pity that Lu Ming wasn't here and couldn't see the difference between him and Duanmu Lin. She was proud that she had chosen Duanmu Lin. However, in the blink of an eye, Tianyun appeared and defeated Duanmu Lin in one move. Now, she was actually told that Tianyun was Lu Ming. This was a huge blow to her. No, no, it's impossible. It's fake. Everything is fake. Lu Yarrow screamed. Her beautiful face was distorted and became ferocious. She couldn't accept this. In the sky, Lu Ming glanced at Lu Yarrow casually and ignored her as if she was a stranger. Duanmu Lin, I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming said softly. No, no, I can't die. Duanmu Lin screamed in horror as he tried his best to fly backward. Lu Ming, stop. Duanmu Songhai shouted. A powerful aura exploded from his body and he wanted to save Duanmu Lin. However, he was entangled by Lin Shueri. Yang Lan, get lost. On the other side, Duanmu Pejuan also shouted and wanted to save Duanmu Lin. However, how could Yang Lan let him do as he wished? Duanmu Pejuan, we haven't decided the winner yet. Where are you going? Yang Lan sneered as he firmly blocked Duanmu Pejuan. Stop him. Yin Tianjue shouted. Whoosh, whoosh. A few of the experts he brought with him charged towards Lu Ming. Die. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a thrust, the spear radiance shot out and the two experts of the 7th Martial Ancestor realm were instantly killed. At the same time, the blood essence was devoured by Lu Ming. Lu Ming didn't stop as he rushed toward Duanmu Lin. Stop him and let young Master Lin escape. The other experts of the Duanmu family rushed over, but unfortunately, the strongest was only in the 7th realm of the Martial Ancestor realm. They were all killed by Lu Ming. In the next moment, Lu Ming appeared in front of Duanmu Lin. No! Duanmu Lin screamed in fear. Die! Lu Ming whispered as he thrust out his spear. Poochie! The spear pierced through Duanmu Lin's heart. Duanmu Lin's eyes immediately popped out like a dead fish. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and regret. Immediately after, the vitality in his eyes quickly dissipated. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that he would die in Lu Ming's hands. More than a year ago, when Lu Ming left the Mystic Essence Sword sect, he said that he would return to the sect to kill him in 2 years. At that time, he didn't take it seriously. He didn't think that Lu Ming could catch up with him. However, the reality was often very different from what one expected. Duanmu Lin was dead. Bam! Lu Ming swung his long spear and Duanmu Lin's body flew out like trash. No, Lu Ming, you deserve to die. You deserve to die. Duanmu Songhai screamed hysterically in the sky. His voice was as shrill as a ghost's. Duanmu Lin was the hope of the Duanmu family. Now that his hope had been killed, Duanmu Songhai couldn't accept it. Old man, what are you screaming for? After I left the sect, you sent people to assassinate me. I swore that I would destroy the Duanmu family. Now it's your turn. Gold-eyed, kill that old man. Lu Ming shouted at Duanmu Songhai and then ordered the gold-eyed blood zombie. Roar. The gold-eyed blood zombie let out a heaven-shaking roar. Its body emitted a dense bloody light as it pounced at Duanmu Songhai. You're courting death. Duanmu Songhai roared and slashed at the gold-eyed blood zombie. A sharp sword light shot out, intending to split the golden-eyed blood zombie in half. However, the result shocked everyone. The gold-eyed blood zombie waved its claws and tore Duanmu Songhai's sword light into pieces. The gold-eyed blood zombie continued to charge at Duanmu Songhai with lightning speed. Half-step king. Another half-step king? Duanmu Tsunghai cried out in disbelief. Lu Ming actually had another half-step king by his side. How was this possible? Could half-step kings be cabbages? Even Lin Shui and the other half-step kings were stunned. Boom! Duanmu Tsunghai circulated his sword aura and erupted with his full power. Just now, he had only casually swung his sword. He thought that he could kill the gold-eyed blood zombie. That was why his sword light was easily destroyed. Kill! At this moment, Lin Shui coldly shouted. A terrifying sword aura burst out and a peerless sharp sword light pierced toward Duanmu Tsunghai. Ah! Lin Shui, you sneak attacked me. Despicable! Duanmu Tsunghai madly roared. He was incomparably terrified as he circulated his full power to resist. Don't even think about it. Qiu Wuyang and Yin Tianjue roared, wanting to help. However, Shangguan Ming and Yang Quan also made their moves. A great battle between half-step kings suddenly erupted. The entire heaven and earth suddenly erupted. Ah! An earth-shattering scream resounded through the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. It was Duanmu Tsunghai. He was facing the gold-eyed blood zombie and Lin Shui together. Moreover, Lin Shui had launched a sneak attack. He was no match for them. With one move, the gold-eyed blood zombie tore a piece of flesh from his chest. Even his bones and organs could be seen. His right hand was missing. Lin Shui's sword light had cut off his arm from his shoulder, almost cleaving him in half. However, even if he managed to dodge, he was still half dead. Ah! Lin Shui, you're despicable and shameless. You actually launched a sneak attack. Duanmu Tsunghai roared. Killing a traitor doesn't need to be honorable. Kill! Lin Shui's killing intent surged. She hated the Duanmu family to the bone. She erupted with her full power and charged at Duanmu Tsunghai. Roar! The gold-eyed blood zombie also roared and charged at Duanmu Tsunghai. Save me! Duanmu Tsunghai was scared out of his wits. He desperately tried to escape. Unfortunately, even if Qiu Wuyang and Yin Tianjue wanted to help, they were powerless. Their opponents were not any weaker than them. Duanmu Tsunghai was already heavily injured, and his battle strength was greatly reduced. How could he escape? In the next moment, another miserable scream resounded. He managed to dodge the gold-eyed blood zombie's claw, but he failed to dodge Lin Shui's sword light. He was cleaved in two by Lin Shui's sword. After all, he was a half-step king with powerful vitality. Duanmu Tsunghai did not die immediately. He screamed in fear. Sect Master, spare my life. Please spare my old bones. Seeing that I've worked so hard for the sect for so many years, please spare me. Duanmu Tsunghai loudly begged. He actually called her Sect Master again. He was simply shameless. Indeed, the older one was, the more one feared death. Working hard for the sect. I think you've been working hard for yourself for so many years. Duanmu Tsunghai, I'll personally send you on your way. Lin Shui coldly shouted. Kai. A sharp sword chi violently slashed out. Duanmu Tsunghai let out a roar of despair as the sword chi cleaved through his head, cleaving him in two. Chapter 346. Father. In the distance, Duanmu Pajuan roared. Peng. As he was distracted, Yang Lan's palm landed on his chest. Duanmu Pajuan retreated madly as blood spurted out of his mouth. Die. Yang Lan chased after him and rained down a barrage of attacks. Duanmu Pajuan was heavily injured and could only block a dozen moves before his heart meridians were shattered by Yang Lan's palm. With a loud cry, he died unwillingly. Not good. Run. Seeing Duanmu Tsunghai killed, Qiu Wuyang roared and turned to leave. Qiu Wuyang, you will stay here today. Lin Shui roared as she merged with her sword and charged at Qiu Wuyang. Resplendent sword chi filled the void and blocked Qiu Wuyang's path of retreat. Shua. Shua. Two sonic booms resounded as Yang Quan and GoldenEye Blood Zombie's figures flickered and appeared on the other side of Qiu Wuyang. Qiu Wuyang's face was gloomy as a trace of anxiety could be seen in his eyes. Damn it. Damn it. To think that I would fall to such a state today. Of all my calculations, I didn't expect that this Qianyun, no, Lu Ming would have two half-step kings by his side. It's all Lu Ming's fault. Damn it. Qiu Wuyang roared inwardly as his eyes spun, trying to think of a countermeasure. With Duanmu Canghai's death, the only half-step kings on their side were himself, Yin Tianjue, and another expert from 10 Direction Sword Sect. As for Mystic Essence Sword Sect side, they had Lin Shui, another half-step king, Shangguan Ming, Yang Quan, and Golden Eye Blood Zombie. In terms of peak battle strength, they were already at a disadvantage and could only retreat. Otherwise, they would all die here. Bang! Run! On the other side, Yin Tianjue and Shangguan Ming exchanged a move and roared, calling out to the experts he had brought, intending to escape. Yin Tianjue, let's settle this today. Where are you going? Yang Quan saw that Yin Tianjue was about to leave and roared, abandoning Qiu Wuyang and charging at him. Damn it! Yin Tianjue roared as he erupted with all his strength and tried to escape. Clang! As soon as Yang Quan left, Qiu Wuyang's sword Qi soared into the sky as the battle sword in his hand was exceptionally sharp. Boom! Even the powerful golden-eyed blood zombie was sent flying over 1,000 meters. Qiu Wuyang seized the opportunity to escape, but on the other side, an equally sharp sword Qi slashed towards him. It was Lin Shui. Qiu Wuyang, you can't escape. Lin Shui's voice was cold. Damn it! Qiu Wuyang roared and fought back with all his might. However, after a few moves, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Roar! Roar! At this moment, a series of wolf howls came from the distant ground. Rumble! The earth rumbled as countless crimson blood-scaled wolves charged over. Lu Ming's Kai Xie cavalry arrived. Kill! The Kai Xie cavalry roared and charged towards the omnidirectional sword school's army. The 10 Directions Sword Sect immediately sent out a powerful army to stop the Kai Xie cavalry. Even though this army was very strong and was made up of the elites of the 10 Directions Sword Sect, they were nothing in front of the Kai Xie cavalry. The Kai Xie cavalry could be said to be armed to the teeth. Their equipment and weapons were all taken from the Martial King's storage ring by Lu Ming, and they were all of the best quality. With the addition of the Kai Xie cavalry, it was simply an army born for war. With just a few charges, the 10 Directions Sword Sect's army was scattered into pieces. As the Kai Xie cavalry charged, corpses were everywhere and blood flowed like a river. Qiu Wuyang, your plan today is destined to fail. It is impossible for the 10 Directions Sword School to rule the Blazing Sun Empire. Lin Shui stared at Qiu Wuyang. Qiu Wuyang's face was extremely gloomy, and his eyes were filled with rage. He didn't say a word as he used all his strength to block the attacks of Lin Shui and Golden-Eyed Blood Zombie while looking for an opportunity to escape. Schoolmaster, I'll help you. At this moment, a loud roar resounded as a tall figure charged over and exchanged a blow with Golden-Eyed Blood Zombie. This person was the other half-step king of the 10 Directions Sword School. Your opponent is me. The half-step king of the Mystic Essence Sword School also chased over. Schoolmaster, hurry up and leave. The 10 Directions Sword School can't do without you. Leave this place to me. The half-step king of the 10 Directions Sword School roared as his body emitted an intense purple light. His originally tall body actually expanded once again, burning his essence blood. He is going all out. Stop him. Lin Shui roared. Kill. 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 The half-step king of the 10 Directions Sword School roared as he slashed out 3 times. The might of these 3 slashes was unimaginable, infinitely close to a king's attack. Boom. 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 Golden-Eyed Blood Zombie, Lin Shui, and the half-step king of the Mystic Essence Sword School were all sent flying several thousand meters away. Shua. Qiu Wuyang seized the opportunity and turned into a beam of rainbow light, instantly traveling 10,000 meters and disappearing into the horizon in a few breaths. Lu Ming, Lin Shui, Qiu Wuyang, will sooner or later wipe out your entire sect. In the distance, Qiu Wuyang's voice was filled with killing intent. Boom. On the other side, Yin Tian used some unknown secret art and sacrificed an arm to repel the encirclement of Yang Quan and Shangguan Ming. He then turned into a beam of bloodlight and disappeared into the horizon. Damn it! Lin Shui roared as she set her sights on the half-step king of the 10 Directions Sword School. Although he had burned his essence blood and increased his battle strength greatly, he couldn't hold on for long before his essence blood ran out and was torn into pieces by the golden-eyed blood zombie. Lu Ming's figure flickered as he appeared in the air. Looking at the half-step king's corpse, Lu Ming sighed inwardly. The latter's essence blood had already been burned out. This was a half-step king, and the essence blood's energy was absolutely terrifying. For Lu Ming, it was a supreme treasure. Moreover, the essence blood of a half-step king was extremely condensed, and its essence dissipated very slowly. Any random jade bottle could preserve it for a long time. Before, Duanmu Tsunghai's essence blood had already been stored in a jade bottle by Lu Ming. He could keep it for later. Looking around, Lu Ming wiped his face and turned back into Qianyun's appearance. Red Blood Cavalry, listen to my order. Kill the 10 Directions Sword School's people without mercy. Lu Ming mercilessly gave the order, and his voice spread far and wide. Kill. Kill. The Red Blood Cavalry roared as their killing intent soared into the heavens. Kill. Lu Ming also roared as he charged toward the 10 Directions Sword School's martial ancestor realm experts with his long spear. At the same time, the golden-eyed blood zombie, Yang Quan, Lin Shui, and the other half-step kings also charged toward the 10 Directions Sword School's people. With so many half-step kings joining in, it was simply a massacre. Miserable screams rang out as a large number of experts were killed. Run, run! The 10 Directions Sword School's people had no desire to continue fighting. Even the school leader had run away, and the other side had so many terrifying experts. Staying behind to fight was simply courting death. They all screamed as they ran out of the Mystic Essence Sword School. The 10 Directions Sword School's attack this time could be considered a total failure. Puff, puff. Lu Ming waved his long spear and killed a few powerful figures from the Duanmu family. Lu Ming specifically targeted the Duanmu family's people. In fact, the Mystic Essence Sword School's people were also targeting the Duanmu family's people. Even if the 10 Directions Sword School's people managed to escape, they would not let the Duanmu family's people go. Chapter 347. Chaos. The entire place was in chaos. Screams and curses filled the air. The Duanmu family members, in particular, screamed and fled frantically. Don't leave me behind. A scream was heard not far away from Lu Ming. A few figures shot up into the sky in an attempt to escape. Swoosh, swoosh. Lu Ming's long spear jerked and a spear radiance shot out. The few martial ancestor realm 4th and 5th realm martial artists were easily killed by Lu Ming. With a flash of his figure, Lu Ming appeared on the other side. He looked down and frowned slightly. Below, Lu Yarrow lay limp on the ground with a look of despair. Duanmu Tsunghai, Duanmu Lin, Duanmu Pejuan, the higher-ups of the Duanmu family were killed one after another in front of her. Her dreams and future were completely shattered. Lu Ming, it's all your fault. You destroyed me. Lu Yarrow lifted her head and looked at Lu Ming with reddened eyes. Her eyes were filled with hatred. I destroyed you. What a joke. Lu Ming looked at Lu Yarrow and scolded coldly. From the beginning to the end, I've never provoked you. You're the one who's been deceiving me, and you've even taken my bloodline. When I came to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, it was the Duanmu family who targeted me and tried to kill me. Now, you are saying that I destroyed you? Are you saying that I can only let you kill me and I can't fight back? What a joke. Lu Yarrow, let me tell you. You only have yourself to blame for everything. Lu Ming looked at Lu Yarrow and said slowly. His voice was calm and there were no fluctuations in his emotions. He was just stating a fact. Only have myself to blame. Only have myself to blame. Ha ha ha. Lu Yarrow muttered to herself and then laughed maniacally. Swoosh, swoosh. At that moment, two figures appeared beside Lu Ming. They were Autumn Moon and Xian Yanqing. After laughing, Lu Yarrow calmed down and looked at Xian Yanqing and Autumn Moon. Autumn Moon and Xian Yanqing, one in a white dress and the other in a black dress, had a natural temperament. They stood in the air like peerless goddesses. Lu Yarrow had always prided herself on her beauty, but compared to Autumn Moon and Xian Yanqing, she was still lacking. In addition, Autumn Moon and Xian Yanqing exuded a powerful aura. When they stood next to Lu Ming, They looked like a couple of immortals. At this moment, Lu Yaro's heart was extremely complicated. There was regret, resentment, and envy. Only have herself to blame. Yes, Lu Ming was right. She had only herself to blame. All of this was caused by herself. If she hadn't thought so much in the past, if she hadn't looked down on Lu Ming, despised him, and even deprived him of his bloodline because of his decadence, she wouldn't have pursued Lu Ming and stayed by his side obediently. Then, standing beside Lu Ming, the one who was envied by countless people wouldn't be anyone else but her. At this moment, she finally understood the meaning of the saying, "Don't look down on a poor young man." People would always have their ups and downs. But a low point was only temporary. As long as one didn't die, they would eventually rise. Envious of the prosperity and brilliance of others, but ignoring the brilliance and potential of those around me. In the end, it's all for nothing. Was I wrong? Perhaps, I was really wrong. Lu Yaro suddenly let out a long sigh. Huff. Huff. Suddenly, the true qi in Lu Yaro's body went berserk. Streaks of fiery true qi rushed out from Lu Yaro's body. Poochie. Then, Lu Yaro's body trembled and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Her qi rapidly weakened until she was like an ordinary person. Her cultivation was destroyed. Lu Yaro had gone through so many ups and downs in such a short period of time. Her state of mind had gone through so many ups and downs that it actually caused her to collapse and her cultivation to be destroyed. Lu Yaro collapsed on the ground. Her eyes were unfocused and filled with despair. At this moment, the scenes that had happened along the way appeared in Lu Yaro's mind. She suddenly realized that only the 3 years she had spent with Lu Ming were truly happy. Later on, when she pursued more, it became even more tiring. After a while, Lu Yaro suddenly burst into tears. She looked at Lu Ming and said, "Lu Ming, I'm sorry." "Fine." Lu Ming suddenly sighed and said, "One has to look to the side. Although the scenery in the distance is beautiful, it's just an illusion. It's like a dream flower. It's also a good outcome for you to be an ordinary person in the future." Then, Lu Ming called over an expert of the Kaixia cavalry and ordered, "Take her to an ordinary village nearby and let her live there for the rest of her life." Yes. The Kaixia cavalry accepted the order and carried Lu Yaro away in a flash. A light breeze blew and a drop of sparkling tear floated towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming opened his hand and the tear fell on his palm. "That's good." Lu Ming whispered. "What? You don't want to leave your old lover?" On the side, Xian Yanqing curled his lips and said, "Old lover?" Lu Ming smiled and said, "Aren't you my old lover?" "Me? Bah. Who's your old lover?" Xian Yanqing rolled his eyes at Lu Ming and said while gritting his teeth. However, her face was a little red. Autumn Moon blinked her watery eyes and looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. She smiled gently and said nothing. There was no suspense in this battle. In the end, the Duanmu family was almost completely annihilated, and the Shifang sword faction suffered heavy losses. Only a small number of people escaped. As for the dozens of experts that Yin Tianjue brought with him, they were all killed except for him. The 5 courtyards of the Mystic Essence sword faction were filled with ruins and corpses. The ground was dyed red with blood. The atmosphere was solemn. Although the Mystic Essence sword faction had won this battle, they had suffered heavy casualties. It could be said that the Mystic Essence sword faction's strength had dropped a lot after this battle. Due to the betrayal of the Duanmu family, the White Tiger courtyard was almost destroyed. Lu Ming walked among the dilapidated walls. "Marquis Champion, Marquis Champion." The disciples of the Mystic Essence sword faction bowed respectfully when they saw Lu Ming. They were very conflicted. Lu Ming was the same as them, a disciple of the Mystic Essence sword faction. However, things were different now. Now, Lu Ming was the Marquis Champion, and he controlled the army. Moreover, he had 2 half-step kings as his subordinates. He had become an overlord of the Blazing Sun Empire, an overlord who was on the same level as Lin Shui. Lu Ming nodded in response. "Marquis Champion." Lu Ming saw Zhong Muyun in the Azure Dragon courtyard. Zhong Muyun was covered in blood, and Zhue Yirong was beside him. "Brother Zhong, you're welcome." Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming was happy that Zhong Muyun and Zhou Yirong were fine. Although Lu Ming had not interacted much with the two, Lu Ming admired their characters. Many people died. Duan Gang also died in battle. Zhong Muyun sighed. His voice was solemn and sad. Duan Gang died? Lu Ming asked in a low voice. Duan Gang was the #1 genius of the Black Tortoise Courtyard. He had once competed with them for the bronze ranking. He was a very straightforward youth. But now, he had died in battle. After chatting with Zhong Muyun for a while, Lu Ming left. After walking around, Lu Ming arrived at the Vermilion Bird Courtyard. Lu Ming. Mulins called out softly as she walked toward Lu Ming. Her eyes were filled with joy. Chapter 348. Senior Sister Mulins. Lu Ming smiled and walked towards Mulins. Lu Ming, I was right about you. I haven't seen you for a long time. Your achievements are beyond my imagination. Now that you've become the Marquis champion, should I call you Marquis when I see you? Mulins came to Lu Ming's side with a smile and teased him. After a year, Mulins's figure had become even more voluptuous. She was wearing a tight black gauze dress, which outlined a soul-stirring curve on her body. The faint body fragrance kept wafting into Lu Ming's nose. It was full of temptation. She was like a ripe peach. Senior Sister Mulins, you must be joking. In front of Senior Sister, I'm still the same junior brother, Lu Ming said with a wry smile. Mulins showed a satisfied smile, as if to say, at least you know what's good for you. Then, Mulins looked at Lu Ming carefully. A trace of longing flashed in her eyes, but no one noticed it. Whoosh! At this time, a figure flew over and appeared above them. It was a middle-aged man. Marquis champion, the sect leader has something to discuss with you in the conference hall. The middle-aged man respectfully cupped his fists and bowed. Okay, I'll be there soon. Lu Ming nodded. Thank you, Marquis champion. The middle-aged man cupped his fists and thanked him, then left. Senior Sister Mulins, let's talk another day, Lu Ming said with a smile. Okay. Mulins nodded. Then, Lu Ming soared into the sky and went out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Kai Xie Cavalry's temporary barracks were here. Marquis. When Lu Ming came back, the Kai Xie Cavalry saluted him. Whether it was Lu Ming or Tianyun, the Kai Xie Cavalry did not care about them. They only recognized one person, the Marquis champion himself. Following which, Lu Ming brought the golden-eyed blood zombie and Yang Quan to the Mystic Essence Sword sect's meeting hall. The meeting hall of the Mystic Essence Sword sect was located in the depths of the 5 great academies. It was where the sect leader, the gold-robed elders, and the gold-ranked disciples cultivated. It was the core of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Back then, Lu Ming had stayed in the Mystic Essence Sword sect for so long, but he had never come here. Now that he had left the Mystic Essence Sword sect, he was here. The world was truly a wonderful place. The champion Marquis has arrived. Lu Ming had just appeared outside the meeting hall when someone announced his arrival. Then, dozens of figures walked out of the meeting hall. The one at the front was Lin Shui, and on the right was the only remaining half-step king of Ghost Moon Saber sect, Shangguan Ming. On the left was another half-step king warrior from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Most of the others were the golden-robed elders of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, as well as the deans of the Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, and Azure Dragon academies. Feng Wuji was also among them. Ha ha ha, Marquis champion has arrived. Please come in, and Brother Yang as well. Lin Shui laughed heartily as he cupped his fists towards Lu Ming and Yang Quan. His tone was extremely polite, completely treating Lu Ming as an equal. Greetings Marquis champion, greetings Senior Yang Quan. The gold-robed elders also cupped their fists. Their feelings were complicated. Lu Ming was once a disciple of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, a heaven's pride. After entering the sect, he had set many records. But in the end, because of the Duanmu family, they had made Lu Ming leave the sect. But in such a short period of time, Lu Ming had made such great achievements all by himself. Even they had to bow their heads before Lu Ming. This was simply inconceivable. Sect leader Lin, seniors, there is no need to be so polite, Lu Ming said with a faint smile. Yang Quan was expressionless. As for the golden-eyed blood zombie, it naturally didn't have any reaction. It followed closely behind Lu Ming. The group walked into the meeting hall and took their seats. This time, it is all thanks to the Marquis champion's timely arrival. Otherwise, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect would have been destroyed by the Decimo Sword Sect. Here, I represent all the disciples of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to thank the Marquis champion. At the head of the hall, Lin Shui stood up and thanked Lu Ming solemnly. Sect leader Lin, you are too polite. I just don't want the Decimo Sword Sect to unify the Blazing Sun Empire. Lu Ming smiled faintly. His attitude was indifferent. No matter what, I still have to thank the Marquis champion. Lin Shui cupped his fists again and sighed in his heart. He was a little disappointed. It was obvious that Lu Ming didn't have a good impression of them. He originally wanted to let Lu Ming return to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect if possible. But now, looking at Lu Ming's attitude, it was impossible. Lin Shui composed himself and continued, "Today, I invited the Marquis champion here to discuss the current situation and what we need to do." Lu Ming nodded. This time, the Decimo Sword Sect was defeated. They will definitely not let it go and will come back. Moreover, the Decimo Sword Sect and Sky Fiend Sect have joined hands. Plus, they have occupied the imperial capital. No one is a match for the Decimo Sword Sect alone. Therefore, we must join hands with the Crimson Cloud Valley. Only then will we have the power to fight the Decimo Sword Sect. The most important thing now is to rescue the Crimson Cloud Valley. Some of the experts from the Sky Fiend Sect and Decimo Sword Sect have disappeared. They most likely went to deal with the Crimson Cloud Valley. What do you think, Marquis Champion and Senior Shangguan? Lin Shui analyzed and then looked at Lu Ming and Shangguan Ming. I have no objections. As long as we don't let the Decimo Sword Sect succeed. Shangguan Ming said. I have no objections either. Lu Ming nodded. No one had any objections. They immediately sent out experts to support the Crimson Cloud Valley. Lin Shui went personally, Shangguan Ming volunteered, and Lu Ming sent Yang Quan. The three half-step kings led a large group of experts to attack the Crimson Cloud Valley. Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and began to devour and refine the essence blood. In this battle, Lu Ming had devoured a large amount of essence blood and used it all to improve the Nine Dragons bloodline. His cultivation base had risen too quickly, and he still needed some time to polish it. Therefore, he used all his essence blood to improve the bloodline. Now, Lu Ming felt that the Nine Dragons bloodline had reached the limit of the first tier of the King Realm. It would soon reach the second tier of the King Realm. With a wave of his hand, a jade bottle appeared. There were 9 drops of essence blood in the jade bottle. These 9 drops of essence blood were stored together, and they were incompatible with each other. They were like 9 resplendent rubies. This was the essence blood that Duanmu Tsunghai had left behind. He inhaled with his true qi, and a drop of essence blood flew out. At the same time, the Nine Dragons bloodline appeared and sucked the drop of essence blood into its mouth. Boom! After the drop of essence blood was sucked in, it was like a volcano erupting with terrifying energy. The Nine Dragons bloodline's body swelled rapidly. Roar! The Nine Dragons bloodline roared, and the sound rumbled, shaking the heavens and earth as it started to refine the essence blood. The essence blood of a half-step king contained too much energy. The endless energy was all absorbed by the Nine Dragons bloodline. Buzz! Half an hour later, the Nine Dragons bloodline shook. There was only one silver chakra around its body, but now a second silver chakra appeared. Second tier of the King Realm. The Nine Dragons bloodline reached the second tier of the King Realm. Half-step king essence blood is indeed terrifying. Chapter 349. Just 1 drop of essence blood was enough to raise the Nine Dragons bloodline from King Grade Level 1 to King Grade Level 2. Continue. Lu Ming took out another drop of essence blood and swallowed it. This time, Lu Ming raised the second bloodline. The second bloodline was an ancient stone tablet. There seemed to be words on it, but they were blurry and Sumo couldn't see what they were. It seemed very mysterious. Until now, The second bloodline didn't seem to have any other magical effects other than increasing his combat strength when Lu Ming unleashed his power. This didn't match the level of a king-grade bloodline. Lu Ming guessed that this might be because the bloodline's level was too low. As long as the bloodline's level was raised, the second bloodline would definitely show some power. A gigantic stone tablet appeared. Surging blood essence energy was continuously channeled into the stone tablet. However, the second bloodline was now at king grade level 4. The amount of essence blood needed to raise it was too much. 1 drop, 2 drops, after refining a total of 7 drops, the second bloodline was raised to the limit of king grade level 4. Lu Ming continued to refine 2 more drops. Unfortunately, the second bloodline was still at the limit of king grade level 4. The bloodline's level is too slow now. A half-step king can only raise it by a little. Ordinary martial ancestor realm level 8 and 7 don't have much effect. The effect is better for martial ancestor realm level 9. Lu Ming pondered and was speechless. He really didn't know what kind of essence blood was needed to raise the bloodline. Martial king grade level? Thinking of this, Lu Ming was speechless. A day has passed. Let's go out and take a look. With a thought, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon. After he came out, he received news that Lin Shui and the others had returned. So fast. Lu Ming was surprised. Yang Quan then told him what had happened. It turned out that when Lin Shui and the others were rushing to the Crimson Cloud Valley, they ran into people from the Crimson Cloud Valley. They were rushing to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. When they met, they found out that the Decimo Sword Sect and the Heaven Demon Sect had sent a large number of experts to besiege the Crimson Cloud Valley. However, the Crimson Heaven Valley had not been infiltrated by the 10 Directions Sword Sect. How could it be so easy to break through? However, the people from the Crimson Cloud Valley were also unable to come out. They were blocked. Even if they wanted to save the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, they were unable to do so. Unexpectedly, after 2 days, the 10 Directions Sword Sect and the Heaven Fiend Sect suddenly retreated. Only then did the Red Cloud Valley send people to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to help. Everyone guessed that the Omnidirectional Sword Sect had suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, which was why the experts besieging the Crimson Heaven Valley had retreated. Lu Ming nodded. The Scarlet Heaven Valley was fine. This was a great thing. Lu Ming and Yang Quan chatted for a while before Lin Shui sent someone to invite him to discuss some matters. This time, of course, it was to discuss their next course of action. After the discussion, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect began to gather the various legions and experts in the area around the sect. It was the same for Scarlet Heaven Valley. 5 days later, Hua Kai and Ming Meng led their armies to the Mystic Origin Sword Sect. Lu Yuntian and Li Ping naturally came as well. Lu Ming arranged for Lu Yuntian and Li Ping to stay in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. This way, as long as the Mystic Essence Sword Sect didn't fall, Lu Yuntian and Li Ping would be safe. The second day after Hua Kai arrived, he announced to the world as the legitimate heir of the imperial family. In the announcement, Hua Kai pointed out that Heavenly King Suppressing had colluded with the 10 Directions Sword Sect and the Heaven Fiend Sect to usurp the throne. They had killed the Burning Sun Emperor, Hua Zhongxing, and slaughtered the entire imperial family. Therefore, he gathered the righteous people of the world to fight Heavenly King Suppressing, the 10 Directions Sword Sect, and the Heaven Fiend Sect. After the announcement, Lu Ming was the first to respond. He was willing to lead the army to fight against the 10 Directions Sword Sect. The Champion Marquis and the Scarlet Blood Cavalry were the first to respond. The world was shaken. Then, more and more people responded. Needless to say, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and the Crimson Heaven Valley's territory naturally listened to their orders. Many legions that originally belonged to the imperial family also rushed to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's territory to respond to Hua Kai's call. Half a month later, Hua Kai gathered an army of nearly 1 million soldiers. At this time, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect in the east of the Burning Sun Empire and the Crimson Heaven Valley in the south of the Burning Sun Empire had formed a triangle. At this time, the 10 Directions Sword Sect and the Heaven Fiend Sect also made their move. They gathered their armies and began to attack. The two forces started a life and death battle. This battle lasted for a month. The Burning Sun Empire didn't have a true martial king. The strongest were half-step kings. Therefore, the battle wasn't one-sided. The battle was extremely intense. Although the Ten Directions Sword Sect and the Heaven Fiend Sect were a bit stronger than the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, the Crimson Heaven Valley, and Lu Ming. However, because Lu Ming had brought Yang Quan and the Golden Eye Blood Zombie, they weren't at a disadvantage in terms of half-step kings. Even if the Ten Directions Sword Sect was a bit stronger, it wouldn't be by much. It would be impossible for them to defeat Lu Ming's side in a short time. Thus, the two sides entered a stalemate. Added together, the two sides had over 8 million soldiers. During this period, the Crimson Blood Iron Cavalry was extremely eye-catching. They were undefeatable and had made great contributions. The Ten Directions Sword Sect's face changed. However, they had a shortcoming. They only had 30,000 soldiers. Moreover, as the battles continued, their numbers were also decreasing. In a battle of millions of soldiers, it was hard for them to gain a decisive advantage. Yin Moon Empire, Zhennan King's Mansion. A group of people was discussing something. Zhennan King, Yin Tianjue, was missing an arm. He sat on the main seat with a gloomy face. He seemed to be thinking, "King, why don't we send reinforcements to the Ten Directions Sword Sect and wipe out the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, the Crimson Heaven Valley, and Lu Ming?" A general asked. "Help the Ten Directions Sword Sect? What good would that do for us?" Zhennan Wang smiled coldly, looking as if he had the pearl of wisdom in his hands. He said, "Isn't this good? The Ten Directions Sword Sect is fighting among themselves. When both sides are injured, we'll lead the army and wipe out the Burning Sun Empire. We'll take over the whole empire." King is wise. Ten Directions Mountain, Conference Hall. There were dozens of people in the hall. They were all higher-ups of the Ten Directions Sword Sect and the Sky Evil Sect. Among them, Heavenly King Suppression and Qiu Wuyang were also present. Qiu Wuyang sat on the main seat. "What's the situation now?" Qiu Wuyang asked. "Sect leader, the two armies are in a stalemate. Neither side can truly suppress the other," a golden-robed elder of the Ten Directions Sword Sect reported. "Moreover, the other side is very cunning and heavily guarded. We've sent assassins to assassinate the experts of the other side many times, but they were all discovered in advance and killed by us," another golden-robed elder reported. "Yeah, the most troublesome one is Lu Ming's Crimson Blood Iron Cavalry. They've caused a lot of casualties to our side," the golden-robed elder sighed. Bam! Chapter 350. At the mention of Lu Ming, Qiu Wuyang's face darkened, and his killing intent soared. It was all because of Lu Ming that the situation had turned out this way and the Shifang Sword Sect was in such a passive state. Originally, Qiu Wuyang's plan was perfect, and he would have already unified the Blazing Sun Empire. It was all because of Lu Ming's interference that his plan was ruined. This Lu Ming must be eliminated as soon as possible. Qiu Wuyang gritted his teeth. "It's difficult to eliminate Lu Ming," a golden-robed elder sighed. Lu Ming's battle strength was extremely strong, and he had a half-step king by his side at all times. It was almost impossible to kill Lu Ming. "What about Yin Tianjue? Has he not responded yet?" Qiu Wuyang asked. "No, the emissary said that Yin Tianjue did not see him at all." "Damn it. Yin Tianjue, that old fox, is waiting for us to both be injured so that he can reap the benefit." Qiu Wuyang roared. "Sect Master, there's no need to be so worried. It won't take long to eliminate the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Crimson Cloud Valley, and kill Lu Ming." At this moment, a clear voice sounded. As soon as this was said, everyone's gaze turned toward the speaker. This person was in his 20s, and it was Qiu Changkong. "Changkong, do you have a solution?" Qiu Wuyang asked. "Haha, Sect Master, and all the other seniors here, have you all forgotten that the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace is recruiting Emperor Heaven Divine Guards every 5 years? Qiu Changkong smiled. "The Emperor Heaven Divine Palace is recruiting Emperor Heaven Divine Guards?" Qiu Wuyang was startled at first, but then he seemed to have thought of something and said joyfully, "Haha, that's right. Look at me, I forgot about this matter. Changkong, with that person's help, there's a great chance for you to join the Emperor Heaven Divine Guards. As long as you join the Emperor Heaven Divine Guards and borrow a bit of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's power, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Crimson Cloud Valley, and Lu Ming can be destroyed with a flip of the hand. That's right, haha, why didn't I think of that? Some of the golden-robed elders of the 10 Directions Sword Sect also laughed heartily. As for the experts from Heaven Fiend Sect, they were puzzled. Brother Chiu, as far as I know, the Empyrean Divine Guards are recruited once every 5 years. The people they recruit are all peerless and monstrous geniuses. Furthermore, they are not recruited from the 36 countries of the Cloud Emperor, but from the entire eastern region of the Tianxian region. The eastern region of the Tianxian region is extremely vast. The Cloud Emperor mountain range where the 36 countries of Cloud Emperor are located is just a small part of it. There are many regions that are bigger than the Cloud Emperor mountain range. Geniuses are as common as clouds in the sky. It's not that I'm looking down on Nephew Changkong. Nephew Changkong's talent is naturally extremely shocking. However, it's still another matter if he wants to join the Di-Tian Divine Guards. The Heaven Fiend Sect Master said. In the Divine Wilderness, there were many large regions. The region where the Cloud Emperor mountain range was located was the Tianxian region. The Tianxian domain was incomparably vast and the Cloud Emperor mountain range was just an inconspicuous mountain range in the Tianxian domain. In the Blazing Sun Empire, Qiu Changkong was able to suppress the other geniuses. Countless young geniuses were overshadowed by him. However, in the entire eastern region of the Tianxian region, he was nothing. However, Qiu Changkong, Qiu Wuyang and the elders of the 10 Direction Sword Sect looked very confident. It was no wonder that the Heaven Fiend Sect Master was puzzled. Haha, brothers there's no harm in telling you. Changkong has been talented since young. When he was young, he was fancied by an important figure in the Tianxian region's eastern branch palace of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and was taken in as an in-name disciple. All these years, that important figure would occasionally come to the 10 Direction Sword Sect to teach Changkong. Qiu Wuyang smiled proudly. What? Nephew Changkong was taken in as an in-name disciple by an important figure in the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? The Heaven Fiend Sect leader stood up from his chair with a thud, almost roaring out loud. The Sky Suppression King and some other experts of the Heaven Fiend Sect had the same expression. Shocking, it was too shocking. What kind of existence was the important figure in the Tianxian region's eastern branch palace of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? He actually fancied Qiu Changkong and took him in as an in-name disciple. Although he was only an in-name disciple and not a true disciple, it was still shocking enough. No wonder Qiu Changkong was able to lead the other geniuses by so much and even made it into the Emperor Cloud leaderboard. Not long ago, he even killed a genius on the Emperor Cloud leaderboard. So that's why. The Heaven Fiend Sect Master sighed and looked at Qiu Changkong with envy. Haha, now we just need to withdraw our forces and maintain a stalemate with the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. When Changkong becomes an Emperor Heaven Divine Guard, we can use a little of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's power and annihilate the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and Crimson Cloud Valley in an instant. Qiu Wuyang laughed. Lu Ming, Lu Yuntian, the Martial King's treasure is mine. Let's see how long you can hide. Qiu Changkong's eyes emitted cold, killing intent. Ever since the news that Tianyun was Lu Ming spread, Qiu Changkong had guessed that Lu Yuntian was Lu Ming's father and that the one who had saved Lu Ming was Lu Yuntian. Lu Yuntian endured for so many years because he wanted to pass on the secret of the Martial Emperor's treasure to his son. Now, Lu Ming, you should already know about the secret of the Martial Emperor's treasure. Alright, I'll pry the secret of the Martial Emperor's treasure from you. Qiu Changkong's eyes flickered with ruthlessness. After a short while, Qiu Wuyang gave the order for the 10 Direction Sword Sect to withdraw their forces and start their defense. They were waiting for the day when the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace would recruit Emperor Heaven Divine Guards. They did not have to wait for long. 1 month later, both sides stopped fighting. The higher-ups of both sides gave the order that even small conflicts could not occur. Those who disobeyed would be killed. This was because on this day, An envoy from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace arrived at the Blazing Sun Empire. Whenever the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace was about to recruit Emperor Heaven Divine Guards, they would send out envoys to patrol the various empires and send out invitations to the geniuses. Only the geniuses who received the invitations could participate in the selection of the Emperor Heaven Divine Guards. With the arrival of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's envoys, both sides naturally did not dare to start a war. They were afraid that the envoys would be displeased. Both sides were waiting for the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's envoys to send out the invitations. In a secret room in the 10-direction mountain, Qiu Wuyang and Qiu Changkong sat opposite each other. Changkong, that Lu Ming's talent is extremely shocking. If he participates in the selection of the Emperor Heaven Divine Guards, he might be a threat to you. Although the threat is very small, you can't ignore it, Qiu Wuyang said. Lu Ming won't be able to receive the invitation, Qiu Changkong said with a cold smile on his face. Won't be able to receive the invitation? Could it be your revered master from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? Qiu Wuyang's eyes flashed with joy. Qiu Changkong shook his head and said, "It's just a small matter. There's no need to trouble revered master. He's one of my senior brothers. I've already sent him a message. Lu Ming won't be able to receive the invitation," Qiu Changkong said with a faint sneer. "Haha, that's great." Chapter 351. A few days later. In the meeting hall of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, the Crimson Cloud Valley, Lu Ming, Hua Kai, and the others gathered to discuss. The selection of the Di-Tian Divine Guards is an opportunity to break the stalemate between the Burning Sun Empire and the 10-Direction Sword Sect. I reckon that the 10-Direction Sword Sect will seize this opportunity to let Qiu Changkong participate in the selection. Once Qiu Changkong succeeds in joining the Di-Tian Divine Guards, we will all be in danger. The first to speak was Lin Shui. That's right. The Di-Tian Divine Guards have great power. When the time comes, they will use a little bit of their power. With Qiu Changkong's talent, he might not be able to join the Di-Tian Divine Guards. But the truth is unpredictable. Even if he becomes a reserve Di-Tian Divine Guard, it will still be a hidden danger. The Crimson Cloud Valley Lord Ling Potian nodded. On our side, we also need someone to become a Di-Tian Divine Guard to compete with Qiu Changkong. Someone sighed. In the next moment, everyone's gaze focused on Lu Ming. On their side, only Lu Ming's talent was unparalleled. He might be able to compete with Qiu Changkong. Di-Tian Divine Guards. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Logically speaking, he should stay away from the Di-Tian Divine Palace because the Palace Lord of the Di-Tian Divine Palace, Martial Emperor Di, was destined to be his mortal enemy. However, Martial Emperor Di was still very far away from the Tianqian domain. There was no need to worry at the moment. Moreover, Lu Ming also wanted to become a Di-Tian Divine Guard. It was said that the Di-Tian Divine Guards were all peerless geniuses from all over the world. They were unimaginably powerful. Only by clashing with these geniuses could one become stronger and stimulate one's potential to improve quickly. Seeing that Lu Ming was deep in thought, everyone looked at Lu Ming without saying a word. If Lu Ming did not wish to participate in the selection of the Di-Tian Divine Guards, they would not force him. "I am willing to go, but I don't know how to participate," Lu Ming said. Seeing that Lu Ming nodded, the others were overjoyed. "Haha, it's easy to participate. Right now, the envoy of the Emperor Sky Divine Palace is patrolling the Blazing Sun Empire. Soon, he will send out an invitation to the geniuses of the Blazing Sun Empire. Only with an invitation can one participate in the selection of the Emperor Sky Divine Guards," the Valley Lord said happily. "Oh, I see." Lu Ming nodded. Lin Shui. There are countless geniuses. But there are countless geniuses. But there are countless geniuses Divine Guards Divine Tian Divine. There are countless geniuses. Lin Shui stroked his beard and looked happy. "Prepare Di-Tian Divine Guards." Lu Ming was stunned. Could it be that Lin Shui thought that he wouldn't even be able to become a reserve Di-Tian Divine Guard? Lin Shui seemed to have seen through Lu Ming's thoughts and explained, Marquis Champion, the eastern part of the Tianqian region is too vast. The Cloud Emperor mountain range we are in is just a small part of it. Outside of the Cloud Emperor mountain range, there are many regions that are bigger than the Cloud Emperor mountain range. Every region has many powerful empires. For example, the area near the Cloud Emperor mountain range is called the Chenjiang Water region. There are more than 100 empires in this area. The most powerful one is an advanced one, which is 100 times more powerful than the Burning Sun Empire. There are many geniuses and monsters. This is just the Chenjiang Water region. There are other stronger regions. Therefore, the competition is fierce. Lin Shui sighed after saying that. That's right. In the past, when all the geniuses were annihilated, none of them became a reserve Di-Tian Divine Guard. This year's batch is much stronger. However, I predict that there won't be more than 3 who can become a true Di-Tian Divine Guard, and there won't be more than 10 who can become a reserve Di-Tian Divine Guard. The Valley Master of the Red Cloud Valley side as well. Lu Ming was speechless when he heard that. There might not be more than 3 geniuses on the Cloud Emperor ranking who could become a true Di-Tian Divine Guard. The competition was really terrifying. However, at the next moment, Lu Ming's eyes were burning with flames. His blood was boiling. Wasn't this what he wanted? To compete with geniuses and heroes, to break through the shackles, to achieve self-improvement, and to surpass himself continuously. Looking at Lu Ming's burning battle intent, Lin Shui and the rest looked at each other. They saw hope in each other's eyes. Now that the Burning Sun Empire had reached this stage, they could only place their hopes on Lu Ming. At this moment, Lin Shui's expression changed. He waved his hand, and a 10,000 miles voice transmission talisman appeared in his hand. When he saw the message in the 10,000 miles voice transmission talisman, he was overjoyed. He said, "The Di-Tian Divine Palace's emissary has sent someone here. He must have sent an invitation. Let's go and welcome him." The group hurriedly walked out of the hall and flew outside. In the sky outside the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, a young man stood alone in the void with his hands behind his back. The young man was about 26 or 27 years old. He was wearing a purple robe and had a noble aura. "I am the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's Sect Master, Lin Shui. Greetings to the Di-Tian Divine Palace's emissary. I am the Red Cloud Valley's Valley Master, Ling Potian. Greetings to the Di-Tian Divine Palace's emissary." Lin Shui and Ling Potian hurriedly cupped their fists and bowed. En. The purple-robed young man nodded indifferently. He glanced at Lin Shui and Ling Potian and said, "The Red Cloud Valley is also here. That's good. It saves me the trouble of making a trip." After speaking, 2 golden invitation letters appeared in the purple-robed young man's hand. With a wave of his hand, the 2 invitation letters flew towards Lin Shui and Ling Potian. Lin Shui and Ling Potian reached out to receive them. These 2 invitation letters, one for Feng Wuji and the other for Ling Yangkai. When the time comes, let them take the invitation letters and participate in the preliminaries at the Cloud Wilderness Empire, the purple-robed young man said indifferently. After speaking, the purple-robed young man turned and was about to leave. "Emissary, please wait," Lin Shui hurriedly called out. "Why? Do you have a problem?" The purple-robed young man turned around with a cold expression. "Emissary, may I ask why Lu Ming doesn't have an invitation letter?" Lin Shui asked carefully. "Lu Ming?" The purple-robed young man sneered and said, "What's so strange about not having an invitation letter? It just means that he's not qualified. All right, there's no other problem. That's all." "Emissary." Lin Shui gritted her teeth and called out again, "Emissary, is there a mistake? With Lu Ming's talent and reputation, how could he not have an invitation letter? Can you help me ask the higher-ups?" "That's right, emissary. I think there's really a mistake. How could Lu Ming, the champion Marquis, not have an invitation letter?" Ling Potian also spoke. Even Feng Wuji and Ling Yangkai had an invitation letter. How could Lu Ming not have one? One had to know that Lu Ming could already kill geniuses like the 6 heroes of the Burning Sun Empire. During the battle at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, He even killed Duanmu Lin with an overwhelming advantage. One had to know that Duanmu Lin had defeated Feng Wuji. Chapter 352. Why? Are you guys doubting me? Or are you doubting the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? The purple-robed young man's face turned cold as he stared at Lin Shui and Ling Potian unkindly. Lin Shui and Ling Potian's faces changed drastically. However, whether Lu Ming could participate in the test was related to the Burning Sun Empire's situation and the survival of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and Crimson Cloud Valley. They had to be clear about this. Emissary, this is a misunderstanding. However, it is strange that Lu Ming did not receive an invitation letter. May I trouble the emissary to inform the higher-ups? Lin Shui gritted her teeth and continued. How dare you? Before Lin Shui could finish her sentence, the purple-robed young man shouted. At the same time, a terrifying aura burst out from his body. This aura was as heavy as a mountain and as vast as the ocean. It was extremely powerful and mighty. Half-step king, Lin Shui and Ling Potian exclaimed in unison. At the same time, a powerful aura burst out from their bodies to counteract this force. However, their bodies could not help but sway as they took 3 steps back. Powerful, too powerful. Everyone present was shocked as they stared at the purple-robed young man with their eyes wide open. No one would have imagined that this purple-robed young man was actually a half-step king. He looked like he was only 26 or 27 years old. It was really shocking that he had reached the half-step king realm at such a young age. Moreover, he seemed to be even stronger than Lin Shui and Ling Potian. Is this the strength of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? A random young man who came to the Burning Sun Empire to deliver an invitation letter is actually so powerful. Lu Ming, who was standing at the side, also narrowed his eyes as his face turned grave. The Emperor Heaven Divine Palace naturally has its reasons for doing things. How can you doubt me? Since this is your first offense, I will not pursue this matter. However, if there is a next time, I don't mind killing you. The purple-robed young man's eyes were gloomy as he spoke coldly. He was full of arrogance. Sect leader Lin, there is no need to say anything more. Lu Ming sent a telepathic message to Lin Shui. Lin Shui and Ling Potian let out a long sigh and did not say anything else. The purple-robed young man snorted as he waved his sleeves and turned around to leave. Just as he turned around, he glanced at Lu Ming and there was a cold glint in his eyes. Although it was just a flash, Lu Ming still caught it. What's going on? I have never seen this person before, and I don't have any grudges with the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. Why is there a hint of coldness in his eyes when he looks at me? Lu Ming frowned and pondered. What the hell is going on? Why didn't the champion Marquis receive an invitation? Ling Potian had a short temper. As soon as the purple-clothed young man left, Ling Potian shouted. That's right, this is too strange. Lin Shui also frowned, full of worry. Without an invitation letter, one would not be able to take part in the Di Tian Divine Guards test. It would be fine if Qiu Changkong didn't join the Di Tian Divine Guards. But if Qiu Changkong joined the Di Tian Divine Guards, even if he was just a reserve Di Tian Divine Guard, they would still be in danger. Sect leaders, Marquis Champion, this old man has a guess, but I don't know if it's true. At this moment, an aged voice resounded, and an old man with snow-white hair walked out. Senior Hua, what do you think? Lin Shui asked hurriedly. This old man was a senior of the royal family. Even if Hua Zhangxing were still alive, he would still have to address him as royal uncle. His seniority was extremely high, and he was in the martial ancestor realm 9th realm. He was the only martial ancestor realm 9th realm expert left in the royal family. The royal uncle pondered for a moment and said, "This old man likes to make friends in the world. I even have friends in the Shifang sword sect. I once heard a secret rumor. It is said that when Qiu Changkong was young, he was fancied by an important figure in the Tianqian region's eastern branch palace of the Di Tian Divine Palace and was accepted as an in-name disciple." What? Qiu Changkong is an in-name disciple of an important figure in the Tianqian region's eastern branch palace of the Di Tian Divine Palace? The royal uncle's words were like a bomb that exploded in everyone's minds. Everyone looked at the royal uncle in shock. Senior, is what you said true? Lin Shui's voice was trembling. The royal uncle nodded and said, it should be true. SSS. The sound of people sucking in cold air rang out, and the atmosphere at the scene fell into an incomparably oppressive and heavy atmosphere. If that's the case, Cho Changkong must have done something. Otherwise, with the champion Marquis talent, how could he not receive an invitation letter? Lin Shui said in a deep voice, and her eyes were filled with seriousness. What should we do? If Cho Changkong has such an important figure as his backer, wouldn't he definitely be able to join the Di Tian Divine Guards? A golden-robed elder said. That might not be the case. The selection of the Di Tian Divine Guards has its own rules. Having a backer doesn't guarantee a stable entry. In the end, it still depends on one's own strength, Ling Potian said. That's right. The others nodded. Even so, the atmosphere was still extremely oppressive. Seniors, there is no need to be so worried. When the time comes, it's just a battle. Who will win? Before the battle, who knows? At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. There was no sign of discouragement on his face. He stood straight and was still confident and determined, like a divine spear that could shatter the heavens. Different situations call for different actions. So what if Cho Changkong had a backer? At most, it would just be a battle. The champion Marquis is right. Things haven't reached the worst stage yet. We don't need to be discouraged. Right now, the only way is to continuously improve our strength. Lin Shui said. After that, everyone returned to the main hall and discussed for a while before leaving. However, there was a huge burden on everyone's heart that they couldn't let go of for a while. Lu Ming returned to the Red Blood military camp's tent and entered the Temple of Paragon. He sat down cross-legged. Strength. No matter what the situation is, as long as I am strong enough, I can solve everything. Lu Ming thought to himself. Then, he waved his hand and a pile of spiritual herbs appeared on the platform. Lu Ming planned to start cultivating the myriad spirit battle body. He hadn't cultivated his physical body for a while because he didn't have any high-level spiritual herbs. The level 1 and level 2 spiritual herbs weren't effective and it was a waste of time. During this period of time, there had been many battles. Lu Ming had killed a large number of martial ancestor realm experts and obtained many level 4 spiritual herbs from their storage rings. Lu Ming's level 5 physical body was already at the small success stage. Only level 4 spiritual herbs could improve his physical body. Immediately, Lu Ming waved his hand and 2 level 4 spiritual herbs appeared in his hand. He started to cultivate the myriad spirit battle body. Not long after, the 2 spiritual herbs turned into myriad spirit chi and seeped into Lu Ming's physical body to strengthen his physical body. After refining the 2 spiritual herbs, he took out 2 more. Time passed slowly as Lu Ming cultivated. Vermilion Bird Courtyard, Yang Lan's residence. Lana, are you really going to that place? Yang Lan looked at Mulins anxiously. Grandfather, now that things have come to this, is there any other way? Only by going to that place can we get an invitation letter for Lu Ming. Only then can Lu Ming participate in the selection of the Imperial Sky Divine Guard. Mulins said with determination. Lana, you have to think carefully. Chapter 353. Grandpa, given Lu Ming's talent, joining the Di Tian Divine Guards is the best choice. He will be able to unleash his talent to his heart's content and achieve greater success. Moreover, this is the only way to save the Mystic Essence Sword sect and ensure your safety. Mulins said. Lana, but you? That's too unfair. Yang Lan said worriedly. Grandfather, don't you believe in Lu Ming? I believe in him. As long as he joins the Empyrean Divine Guards, he can truly return me my freedom. Speaking until here, Mulins's eyes shone with a certain light. That was the light of her belief in Lu Ming. It's difficult. Although Lu Ming is extremely talented, that's only in the Blazing Sun Empire. If he were to join the Empyrean Divine Guards, he would be very ordinary. It's difficult to achieve that. Yang Lan sighed repeatedly. Grandfather, I believe in my judgment. Please rest assured that nothing will happen to me. Grandfather, I'll go now. After saying that, Moulins bowed to Yang Lan and then floated away, disappearing from the vermilion bird courtyard. Lu Ming naturally knew nothing about this. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. In 7 days, Lu Ming had refined more than 500 level 4 spiritual herbs and cultivated his physical body to the perfect level 5 physical body. However, at this stage, no matter how many spiritual herbs Lu Ming refined, his physical body could not break through. It was completely stuck at the perfect level 5 physical body. It seems that level 4 spiritual herbs are too low level. They can't help my physical body break through to level 6. Lu Ming thought to himself. Could it be that I need level 5 spiritual herbs or other level 5 treasures? Thinking of this, Lu Ming shook his head and smiled bitterly. Level 5 spiritual herbs or other level 5 treasures were equivalent to kings. They were treasures that even kings could use. How precious would they be? They could only be found by chance. Let's put aside the physical body for now. Perfect level 5 physical body is enough for now. Even among half-step kings, there are not many who have level 5 physical body. Many martial artists who didn't focus on cultivating their physical body couldn't even reach the 5th grade after reaching the half-step king realm. Only after entering the martial king realm and going through the transformation of the power of heaven and earth and the unique true origin of martial kings, could one's physical body reach the 5th grade. In other words, Lu Ming's current physical body was no longer inferior to those martial kings who did not specially cultivate their physical bodies. Of course, that was only his physical body. His battle prowess was still worlds apart from that of a martial king. After that, Lu Ming began to comprehend the 9 dragons ascending heaven steps. The 9 dragons' heaven treading steps and the last palm of the 3 Dao palms, the heaven's path palm, were the martial skills that Lu Ming cultivated every day. However, these 2 martial skills were too difficult to cultivate. Until now, Lu Ming had yet to successfully cultivate the 2nd step of the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps. As for the heaven's path palm, he was completely clueless about it. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. There were only a few days left before the preliminaries for the Di Tian Divine Guards would begin. On this day, Moulins came to look for Lu Ming. Senior Sister Moulins, I heard that you went out during this period of time? Upon seeing Moulins, Lu Ming asked with a smile. Yes. Moulins replied with a low hum. Looking at Lu Ming, she seemed to be deep in thought. Senior Sister Moulins seems to have something on her mind. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. However, since Moulins did not say anything, he did not ask. After a while, Lu Ming's palm glowed. Suddenly, a golden piece of paper appeared. This is the invitation letter for the Di Tian Divine Guard selection. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he could not help but blurt out. Moulins nodded. Then, she opened the invitation letter and revealed the words inside. Scorching Sun Empire, Lu Ming. There were 6 big golden words on the invitation letter. How could it be me? Lu Ming's eyes narrowed as he exclaimed in disbelief. At first, Lu Ming thought that Moulins had taken out an invitation letter from someone else, such as Feng Wuji or Ling Yangkai. He had never expected that his name would be on the invitation letter. Lu Ming, this is the invitation letter for the Di Tian Divine Guard selection. Take it. I hope that you can surpass Qiu Changkong and successfully join the Di Tian Divine Guards. At this moment, Moulins revealed a faint smile. Senior Sister Moulins, where did you get this invitation letter from? Lu Ming asked. He was extremely curious. The invitation letter from the Di Tian Divine Palace could not be faked. This was because there were special inscriptions on it that were very easy to identify. No one would dare to fake it unless they were tired of living. Your senior apprentice sister is very resourceful. Naturally, I have my own methods. You don't have to worry about this. Take it and perform well. Moulins handed the invitation letter to Lu Ming and smiled. Lu Ming received it in a daze. Lu Ming, from today onwards, I might have to leave the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Suddenly, Moulins let out a long sigh. What? Senior Sister Moulins, You want to leave the Mystic Essence Sword sect? Are you going to train or? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. He felt that something was amiss. Neither. Mulins shook her head and looked at Lu Ming carefully. After a while, she said, Lu Ming, as long as you join the Di Tian Divine Guards, we might be able to meet again. With that, Mulins suddenly went forward and hugged Lu Ming. Lu Ming was stunned. In the next moment, he felt 2 lumps of meat pressing against his chest. They were shockingly bouncy. Mulins's body fragrance wafted to his nose, causing Lu Ming's heart to beat rapidly. Mulins hugged Lu Ming tightly. After a long while, she suddenly let go of Lu Ming. Her face was flushed red. She glanced at Lu Ming and then turned to leave. Lu Ming, join the Di Tian Divine Guards. I look forward to seeing you again. Her voice drifted over, but the beauty had already disappeared. Senior Sister Mulins. Lu Ming looked in the direction that Mulins left in a daze. He didn't come back to his senses for a long time. After a long while, Lu Ming finally came back to his senses. What exactly is going on? Why does Senior Sister Mulins have an invitation letter from the Di Tian Divine Palace? Also, where is she going? Lu Ming's heart was filled with doubts. Swoosh. Lu Ming moved and appeared in the air. He looked into the distance and realized that Mulins had already left. He didn't know where she went. Dean, yes, let's ask the Dean. Lu Ming thought of Yang Lan. Yang Lan was Mulin's grandfather. He should know the inside story. After a while, Lu Ming found Yang Lan in the Vermilion Bird courtyard. After not seeing him for a while, Yang Lan seemed to have aged quite a bit. Lu Ming's heart tightened as he felt that something was wrong. Lu Ming, have a seat. Yang Lan invited Lu Ming to sit down and poured a cup of tea for Lu Ming. I knew that you would look for me. You want to ask about Lan right? Yang Lan said. That's right. Lu Ming nodded and immediately asked him about his doubts. Yang Lan was silent as if he was deep in his memories. After a while, he sighed. Lu Ming, I'll tell you everything. Lan that girl, is stubborn and refuses to say anything. Lu Ming, you know that I am Lan grandfather, but you have never seen Lan parents, right? Yang Lan said. Lu Ming was stunned and shook his head. He had indeed never seen Mulins's parents and had never heard Mulins mention them. Lan mother passed away long ago. Lan father is an important figure in the Di Tian Divine Palace. Chapter 354. What? Lu Ming was dumbfounded and shocked. Mulins's father was actually a big shot in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. This was completely out of his expectations. Since Mulins's father was a big shot in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace, why would Mulins stay in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and not cultivate in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace? The cultivation conditions in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace were definitely not something the Mystic Essence Sword sect could compare with. As if he had seen through Lu Ming's thoughts, Yang Lan continued, Lan father is a big shot in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. He is extremely domineering and arbitrary. Before Lan turned 15, she had always been in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. However, her father kept her in check. Later on, without Lan's consent, he arranged a marriage for her. The marriage partner was a peerless genius in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. However, Lana did not like him at all. Hence, she ran out of the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace in a fit of anger and came to my place. Yang Lan's answer dispelled many of Lu Ming's doubts. Lu Ming understood. His invitation letter must have been obtained by Mulins after she returned to the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. This also made Lu Ming even more worried. He said, did Senior Sister Mulins return to the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace this time? Wouldn't she have to face the marriage? He did not know why, but when he thought of Mulins getting married to someone else, he felt uncomfortable in his heart. That's right. In order to get that invitation letter, Lana had already promised her father to stay in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. Now, the only person who can save her and prevent her from getting married to someone she doesn't like is you. Yang Lan said. Me? Lu Ming was stunned. That's right. Lan had once made an agreement with her father. Lan said that the person she liked would definitely be stronger than the genius in the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. Sooner or later, she would bring the person she liked to the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace to defeat that genius and cancel the marriage. This person is you. Yang Lan looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. Me? I. Lu Ming's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. The person Mulin's liked? Him. Lu Ming's little heart immediately started beating rapidly. He thought of the various things that happened when Mulin's left. Lu Ming took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He said firmly, Dean, don't worry. I will definitely join the Di Tian Divine Guards, defeat that genius, and return senior sister Mulin's freedom. That genius. Only. Martial King. Lu Ming's pupils shrank sharply. Now. Lu Ming was 18 years old. He was almost 19 years old. However, Lu Ming did not have the slightest confidence that he could break through the Martial King realm at the age of 21. He was indeed a peerless and terrifying genius. Compared to him, the geniuses of the Blazing Sun Empire, no. Even the geniuses on the Emperor leaderboard were a pile of trash. After a while, Lu Ming's eyes exploded with a strong fighting spirit and an unwavering will. He said, Dean, don't worry. No matter how strong he is, I will defeat him sooner or later and set Senior Mulin's free. All right. Lan believes in you. I also believe in you. However, Lu Ming, with your current cultivation and combat strength, it will be very difficult for you to join the Di Tian Divine Guards. I hope you can make another breakthrough. Yang Lan's eyes seemed to have a glimmer of hope. After that, Lu Ming chatted with Yang Lan for a while. Then, he took his leave. A day later, the news that Lu Ming had received an invitation to join the Di Tian Divine Guards spread among the upper echelons of the Mystic Essence Sword sect and the Crimson Cloud Valley. This shocked those who knew about it, but it was soon followed by ecstasy. Although they were curious about how Lu Ming had received the invitation, this was not the main point. The main point was that Lu Ming could participate in the Di Tian Divine Guard selection, which gave them a glimmer of hope. At this time, the preliminaries of the 36 countries of Emperor Yun were getting closer and closer. It was time to depart. Lu Ming bid farewell to Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. As for Qiu Yu, she said that she had not seen Lu Yuntian and Li Ping for a long time and wanted to stay by their side to take care of them. Lu Ming naturally agreed. As for Xian Yanqing, he wanted to go with Lu Ming. His reason was to see the geniuses of the 36 countries of Emperor Yun. 2 days later, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Feng Wuji, and Ling Yankai left the Mystic Essence Sword sect and headed west. Lu Ming did not bring the golden-eyed blood zombie or Yang Quan. Now was the time of the war. The golden-eyed blood zombie and Yang Quan were important battle forces. If they left, it would be disadvantageous for the war. Moreover, Lu Ming intended to leave the golden-eyed blood zombie behind to protect Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. The Cloud Desolate Empire was one of the 8 mid-sized empires of the Cloud Emperor mountain range. However, it was strong and ranked first among the 8. Therefore, the preliminaries of the Cloud Emperor mountain range were held in the imperial capital of the Cloud Desolate Empire. From the Mystic Essence Sword sect, they had to pass through 8 empires. It was a journey of more than 700,000 miles. It was a very long journey. However, with everyone's cultivation, if they flew at full speed, it was still quite easy for them to fly 10,000 miles in an hour. Including the rest time, they used 5 days to reach the imperial capital of the Cloud Desolate Empire. The Cloud Desolate Empire was indeed the strongest empire of the 36 countries of Emperor Yun. Just the imperial capital alone was more than 10 times bigger than the imperial capital of the Scorching Sun Empire. It was majestic and vast, with no end in sight. On the city walls, rows of armored soldiers were patrolling. Lu Ming glanced at them and his eyes narrowed. These armored soldiers were all martial grandmasters. Each of them had a powerful aura and their eyes were penetrating. Lu Ming sighed inwardly. The strength of the number 1 empire of the Cloud Emperor mountain range was truly astonishing. Walking through the city gate, it was incomparably spacious. The street was 200 meters wide. On the street, there were all kinds of beast roars. Many people were riding on various mounts and strolling on the street. Lu Ming even saw a martial artist riding a giant python that was more than 30 meters long and as thick as a water tank, strolling on the streets. On both sides of the street, there were many shops. Some of the spiritual weapon shops were shining with treasure. Some of the spiritual medicine shops were filled with medicinal fragrance. Lu Ming and the others walked and looked, exclaiming in admiration. Along the way, they could see young warriors walking by from time to time. They were all dignified and had extraordinary auras. One look and one could tell that they were dragons and phoenixes among men. They were probably here to participate in the preliminaries. Brother Lu, Brother Feng, Miss Xie, let's find a place to eat. We have been rushing for the past few days and haven't had a good meal. Our mouths are almost dry. Ling Yankai rubbed his stomach and grinned. All right. Lu Ming nodded. The few of them walked for a while and arrived in front of a restaurant. Drunken Pleasure Restaurant was the name of this restaurant. It was 7 stories tall and covered an area of 10 acres. It was incomparably spacious. Guests, please come in. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.